What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Webull link. If you deposit any amount of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 in total. Deposit $2,000 or more, and you're guaranteed 40 free stocks. The offer ends very soon in just 8 days. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the markets. So far, the bears are the ones who have a bigger edge thus far, as we're seeing some more sellers who are stepping in. But SPY is trying to hold the support right now at the 4-hour 50 EMA at 579.4. If we lose the support, I think we are at risk of coming all the way down towards the 577 zone. And if we hold this, we could attempt to rebound. So make sure you watch this very carefully. This is a big test that's happening on SPY. Now, just know there's not really a whole lot else that's coming out for the markets for today. We do have the Fed Beige book at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but everything else is very, very minor. There's not really a whole lot else that's coming out. We do have some big earnings, however, such as Tesla and IBM's earnings after market close, but for now, there's not really much affecting the market intraday. So what do I see at least for this? We're looking to see this 579.43 area. If we lose this support on SPY, like I said before, I do think we could be testing the 577 area right here, previous resistance becoming support, 577.5. And if this holds, we could attempt to rebound above 580. If that does, reclaim that, we could attempt to bounce back up. So otherwise, we do look a little bit more bearish right now. I do think this chart's favoring downside a bit more as we have these imbalances below to fill. So we'll see how it goes. There is like a head and shoulders like structure on SPY that's developing. So be very patient with it. But I just want to give you guys a heads up about this. Now, for other factors out there, we have Nvidia stock. Nvidia is also kind of selling off a bit. We're looking at the 140 areas are now very, very key zone. It's now like our chop zone. So we're kind of chopping around that zone. If we can't hold above 140 by close, there is a risk of this dipping a little bit lower to 137. But if it reclaims 140 by close, I could see an attempt to get back up to 142. So just be careful with that. There is still a risk of downside on Nvidia looking at the charts, and it's showing a little bit of weakness here. So I could see some more downside. For ES, we're looking a little bit more bearish. We basically have this support to watch for at 58.50. If that fails us, we're looking for a bigger dip to this imbalance towards 58.38. And our resistance to watch for is firstly at 58.55, followed by the 58.70 area. So I think the chart looks more bearish, and the 58.40s are a stronger possibility. But make sure you watch that support I called out where this imbalance is just to see if it holds or not. For Tesla, we are looking more bearish. We are barely holding 215. So I said the range to watch for is 215 to 219, or I'm sorry, 215 to 220. We did pop just under 219, then we ended up dipping after that. On the daily, make sure you watch our 200 EMA at 214.5. So if 215 fails us, we're looking for 214.5 as our target. And then this move doesn't matter as much. What matters is going to be earnings. Will earnings cause a big bounce in Tesla? Or is this about to see a big rug pull closer to 200 flats? I'll be watching that very carefully as well. For NQ, we look a little bit more bearish. We're looking for that 20,273 areas or support. That's very close to 20,300. If this holds, we could attempt to rebound. If this fails us, there's a risk of us coming all the way down to 20,200 and eventually 20,000 flat. With the QQQ, we're also dipping. We're looking for 491 as our support. If that fails, let's look for 489 and then 487. If we break past 494, though, we could try to bounce. But as of right now, we do look like we're favoring a move back down to the lower 490s. So just be very mindful of that. For Aapl, we're also dipping right here. We need to reclaim 234. If not, we're at risk of coming back down to 232. So just be mindful of that. We could be dipping a little bit lower. For the IWM Russell 2000, we're also dipping right here. If we can't hold above 220, we're at risk of coming back down towards not just 219, but 217 is going to be our target if that fails. So be mindful of that. For Coinbase, we're looking a little bit more bearish. We need to hold above 202. Otherwise, we're at risk of coming all the way down to this gap fill for 196 if 200 fails us. For Amazon, if we don't reclaim 186.8, I think we're at risk of falling all the way down towards 185. For Meta is also rejecting here. If we don't hold above 580, we're at risk of coming back down to 575. If that fails us, then I will be looking for a bigger dip back down to about 569. So I do see a risk of some downside. For Microsoft, we're rejecting off 431. If we don't hold above that, we're at risk of coming all the way back down towards 427, eventually 425. So give this the time it needs. And then last but not least, we have Google dipping right here. If we don't hold above 165, I see a risk of it coming back down towards 163. So keep that in mind, guys. The market's looking a little bit more bearish. We are favoring downside. We could dip a little bit more, but just know that we'll be watching the supports I have called out to see if we get a bounce later on. But for now, the bears have a bigger edge, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to end this video kind of quick, so thank you for listening. I'll be back in a couple of hours for another update, and peace out.